Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. We will present our assignment regarding ideology in translation. To our friend Nurfadilah, please.
My name is Nurfadilah. Today I want to explain about definition translation. Yes, point for explain. Definition translation. Types 1, meaning of words, and types 2, meaning definition, all of definition. Okay, meaning of words. The word translation comes from the Latin words latum. Trans means across and latum means carry. Yeah, the types 2, meaning all of definitions, is translation, is the transfer of a text or words and written or spoken from one language. According to Susan Basnet said, the transfer of meaning contained in one set language season into others set of language seasons. Okay, next slide, Ayu Fitrianingsih.
My name is Ayu Fitrianingsih. I will explain about the definition of ideology. So here I only explain the definition, the rest will be my friends who will discuss it. Definition of ideology. What is ideology? Ideology has been in use in English since the end of the 18th century and is one of the few words whose container we can identify. The French word LEC stood the trash professed it has a term to the science of ideas. And in that sense, the word was quickly borrowed into English. So ideology originate as a socially philosophical term within a view the gets it to one connotation of impractically thanks to Napoleon, who used it in a derisive manner. Today, the word most often refers to a systematic body of concept, especially those of a particular group or political party. And ideology is a set of opinions or beliefs of a group or an individual. Very often, ideology refers to a set of political beliefs or a set of ideas that characterize a particular culture. This is all from me. If I will explain it wrong, I'm sorry. Okay, the next will be discussed by my friend Mutia Sabrina Asri.
My name is Mutia Sabrina Asri. So before that, my friend has explained about the definition of ideology and definition of translation. So now I want to explain about the ideology in translation. So now I want to explain about the ideology in translation. So ideology plays an important role in translation practice, and the process of translation manipulated by ideology. So according to Hott in 2003, he said, ideology in translation is a principle or belief about right and wrong in translation. Namely, what a kind of translation is bad for the target language reading community, or what a kind of translation fit and like community. So some translator consider that the translation text to be a correct when the translate text has a convenient source language mixes into the target language text appropriately. But some others consider the correct translation to be a translate text if meet the rules of the target language, both a grammar and cultural principle. So, of course, what is said to be a true or false is a very relative. Either the translation is right and wrong is determined by for who and for what is a purpose the translation is a carry out. So in ideology in translation have two part. Namely is domestication ideology and foreignization ideology, and it will explain for my friends.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Renjani Syarfira Nasution. I will explain about the domestication ideology. The domestication ideology is oriented towards the target language and believes that the correct, acceptable, and good translations are according to the text and the expectation of readers who want to the translated text in accordance with the culture of the target language community. The ideology aims to fulfill the reader's desire, namely reading translation without feeling that what is being read is actually a translation. And for adherents of the domestication ideology, foreign words like Mr., Mrs., own, and etc. must be translated into Indonesian so that the translations of the village is present as part of the Indonesian language, so that it is accepted among readers of the target language. He will try to introduce Indonesian culture to the outside world because happily the correct translation is the one that is acceptable in the target language and does not present anything foreign ones. Okay, the next will continue by my friends Ejani Laura.
I will explain about the advantage of the domestication. The translation results are more pleasant to read. Sometimes readers do not feel that what they are reading of a word of translation. Number 2, generate an impression of familiarity for the reader of the translation because the translator presents terms that are already familiar to the readers of the translation. 3. It is more practical because the translator does not need to apply certain translation technique to it. For example, providing detailed and lengthy explanation to express message in the source language, the target language. 4. The target language text readers can understand the translated text easily. 5. Translate text feels natural and communicative. The last number allows cultures assimilate itself. Okay, thank you.
My name is Winten Sari Okel Pasaribu. Okay, now I want to explain about disadvantages of the ideology demystification. Number 1. When translating source language culture, terms should usually be supported by certain translation method or technique, such as additional explanation with notes and on so that message in the source language can be delivered into the target language. This way is sometimes considered impractical. Number 2, readers are sometimes less able to get an idea through the explanation given by the translator to terms in language culture source. And number 3, when compared to the ideology of domestication, the translation becomes less tasty, smoothly read. Number 4, the target text reader may feel unfamiliar with some terms. And number 5, target language text sometimes feels complex and unnatural as language. And finally, number 6, Negative aspect of culture in the source language can easily enter and influence on the reader. Okay, thank you for Frank.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Reska Asram Nasril. I will tell about the ideology of forage negation. Foragination is a translator of forage news, science, and technology books. Foragination also appeals to the translation of novel and children's stories. The ideology of foragination is a translator that presents the nuances of forage culture, the target audience. And this is a contrast to domestication, which tries not to want to parrot a forage atmosphere to the reader. The method chosen as a feature of foragination is word-of-word translation, literal translation, trusted translation, and semantic translation. Criteria for foragination ideology in a translated text. Next, my friend.
My name is Zia Luxfi Aja Ibrahim. I will explain the set categories of the ideology for organization. Number one, the target text reader may be unfamiliar with some term. Okay, cultural aspect of the source language often fade away. Next, the target language text sometimes feel complex and unnatural in the use of the language. The target text reader cannot provide an interpretation of the text. It is done by the translator. Next, the negative aspect of culture in the source language can easily enter and affect the reader. Reader of the target language text do not get cultural knowledge of the source language. Okay. Next.
Well, I am Ulu Tante Ginting. I want to explain conclusion the ideology in translation. The ideology in translation is the translator's beliefs and views regarding the good and correct translator in accordance with the wish of the community. There are two ideologies in translation. First, an ideology that is oriented to the source language, called foraginization, and an ideology that is oriented to the target language, namely the domestication ideology. These two ideologies will direct the translator during the translation process in choosing the method to the strategy he used. If it is related to the purpose of communication, these two ideologies actually want to communicate message in the source language to the target language, but in different ways. That's all we can explain about ideology in translation. If we have mistakes, we apologize. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.